Hello, hello. Welcome back. Yeah. Let me do a little bit of rearranging. Okay. But that's okay. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. Today I will continue working on the Rubik's Cube case right above me. Nope. Where? Oh. There? Nope. There. There. That one. Yeah. Or that one. Either way. Off screen, my wife Julia made colored, like used acrylic white paint to color this. We got yellow settled down in color, which is great because I always am worried that it will go weird and apply way too much of it, and then it does go weird. And then we got orange, which is not particularly high contrast difference with this yellow, but still good. I need to become brave at mixing yellow and red or something of that sort. And we got the greens going as well. So, what is our next step? I think the next step would be to use the black marker to blacken the rest of what needs to be black, starting with this white guy. And I have several of them, and obviously all of them my wife took. Come on. Really? Is that how we're gonna roll here? Well, I got this one. Is that black? Oh, come on. It's black. The question is, how black is it? Yeah, it's kind of going already. Okay, I'll go try and find my markers in my wife's stack of markers. Now, am I sure they're not here? Yeah, they're not here. Where is my other tin of markers? Yeah, that's probably what she got. Okay, I'll be right back after I grab those markers. Is this the black I was just looking at? Yes. So, I'll be right back. Just started the stream, right? That's how it goes. think I found my wife's stash. And here are all of my black markers, which she clearly doesn't use. So which one is the best here? Okay, this one she ruined already. This one is very thin. This one is middle. And this one is probably what we're gonna use, right? This is thin and this is thick. Okay, let's try. I'll put the glasses on, upside down. And I want to go close enough, but not too close. I just said that. Okay, so I'll go on this side and then I'll use the thin one to tidy it up. Okay. Should I go on the edges with this guy? No, probably not. I should use the bigger guy. Yeah, this is not very comfortable. I'll use this guy for details. Every hole needs to be dyed, which is obviously pain in the neck. So if you ever wondered why these are so expensive to make, this is why. And that's why I charge extra for different coloring on this, because doing the tuxedo version is the most straightforward one, which is a black basically. But doing these colored ones requires quite a bit of dyeing / painting finesse. But it is fun, so I don't complain much. Too much, maybe. Maybe I complain a little bit. Okay. I don't know if you see and appreciate my detailed work, but you see how, the holes look. Oh well, maybe you cannot see, but the holes do look different. I have one with slightly bigger tip. Yeah, not this one. Probably with this one. Let's try this one. Okay, maybe that's a better solution. Or not. Oh yes. Let's see. Does it color everything or? Yeah, this colors everything. It's good. One sec, folks. Okay. So yeah, Rubik's Cube is in the works. I hope this covers it. Let's take a look. It does okay job. I would say. What about, can we use it to cover these guys? Yeah, we can. Okay, cool. So I'll use this intermediate one. It gives me enough control. I spent way too much on various markers to make sure we pick something that does a good job drawing very thin lines. I mean, or various thicknesses of lines, rather. This one is on the thicker side, but a few of our project required more finesse. Maybe I shouldn't use the paper towel here. Can you all hear me all right? Okay, looks like the image is okay. Sorry if you have OCD and my thing is a little crooked. My apologies to you. Crooked or crooked? What's the right way to say it? Crooked or crooked? I have no idea. I think by ear I hear crooked, but it's written as crooked. So, you know, the immigrant's problem. We actually read the words, unlike the native who just memorized them. Okay, let's do this side again. And I imagine that this side of the tip is the same as thin one on this guy. So. Okay, can I press this one down? Yes. I don't know if I need to, but I can. Okay, cool. So we'll do the edges later. For now, we'll continue. I'll put these two aside. And we'll finish all the basically outsides. Because this cube, like any other, has the edges and they are black. So I'll go with a thick one and then we'll come back with the detail. And this marker, as you saw me do, is push down. As you push down, more dye comes from this chamber into this tip. And it basically, yeah. The idea is that you don't have a lot of dye pressure all the time, and it doesn't dry up either. I'm glad I invested in these markers because this is useful. Okay, now here, where do I go? Yeah, I go all the way actually, except for middle. Middle I'll do the thin one. Again, the good news about black dye, it can cover any other dye. In a marker or not. And again, I'm doing the rough pass, so I'll actually come with a thinner one and do the tiny ones. Oh yes! Hello! Steven, how are you doing? It's good to see you. I bet you saw the word Rubik's Cube and you saw this? Yes. Yes. I got an order for the, how do we call it? Assembled? No. Solved. Solved. I think it's a solved one. I'm exercising every bit of my patience to not have that mistake that we experienced when you first saw me do the Rubik's Cube. so it doesn't go through the leather and you know, doesn't do the boo-boo. And I have a new tools to make this a faster experience for cutting the leather. Made a few patterns for myself that like I can use even a press to mark. So you see how these are like lines. These have lines on them already. And actually that's the next step for me to do a little bit of more tooling on them before I apply the finish. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't do these frequently enough. But they are, you know, I would say maybe 8 total. So I price them very cheaply. Very cheaply. I know that's not what you asked, but yeah, that's all every crafter thinks about. Like, is this worth my time or not? Okay, let's see. Did I not turn on? Yeah, I didn't turn on my light. Let's do the fine. Again, this is for the colored ones, right? The single color ones will go much like the black ones. The tuxedo, as I call it, will go faster, obviously. Yeah, this is a lot of dye. How have you been? How's your primary activity of cube solving? Any good tournaments or anything recently? Yeah, that's the one. That's what I call tuxedo. That's right. That's the one I gave you. I like them actually the most. I don't know if people like the colored ones, but like so far, I got probably equal order for colored, solved, and scrambled. I got a scrambled one too, which is the hardest one. With each tile having its own color and you need to pay attention and stuff like that. But I like the black. I like the going out in style. Do you use it at all to carry a cube, by the way? Let me ask you. You are one of my, if not the oldest customer for this cube. Or owner of the oldest cube. Do you, as a Rubik's Cube aficionado, use this box at all? Not selling much outside of that. I'm planning on going to the Netherlands for the cubing Euros this summer. Nice, nice. Yeah, I also go to Netherlands, to Amsterdam for my technology conference, and I like that. That's like my main event of the year. Yeah, this marker is actually like looks like the best option for these holes because it exudes enough dye and it's just quick and easy push to color all sides of the holes, which are usually the toughest one. You do have a cube, but since I don't really cube much, it's mostly a display piece on my shelf. It looks great. It does look good. Thank you. I like it. Yeah. I see. So I assume, like, during the competitions, you basically you go and use their cubes, right? You don't bring yours for the competition specifically. Let me ask you a question. Is protection of the cube a concern at all? Because this one has a few protective properties, but is that something that you care about? Sorry, when I'm concentrated on the holes, it takes my mind, all the power of my mind to keep that concentration. Looks like I put a lot of dyes coming out of this guy. For better or for worse. Yeah, I should be rotating them. There aren't many protective options outside of plastic boxes or little cube-sized drawstring bags, and most people don't use those. Mostly just cheap fabric zipper bags made by the manufacturer that holds about 10 cubes. I see. And do people bring a lot of cubes? I guess you said up to 10 cubes. Does it mean like they literally use that for travel? And do people carry that many cubes with them? Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you, like, how much do cubes cost? Like the professional ones, the ones that, like, people who are seriously in the game would buy. Sorry if I'm inundating you. Is that the word? Inundating you with the questions, but I'm like, since I'm so far away from this space, I kind of need that internal knowledge. Are you telling me like the cube is used only once? At the event, you say one number per event? One puzzle per event? There are some pretty decent budget options these days, like $10, but the high-end options are like 60, 70. Okay, 50, 70. I'm also pretty out of date with my knowledge. No problem. Yeah, they would bring like 2x2, one 3x3, and one 4x4. Oh, I see, I see. So they are different cubes, as in like different types of cubes, but not like 10 3x3s or something. 10 3x3s, yeah, or something like that. Okay, that's interesting. And people bring like all the versions. I see. That makes sense. That makes sense. I actually never seen a 4x4. I probably saw it in stores, but I never really touched it. And I assume the expensive ones are the most wobbly ones, right? Like the ones that are faster to turn and everything, right? Basically, more professional ones. It's kind of interesting how the price is like in this expensive but still reasonable piece kind of range. Yeah, I keep forgetting that this particular tip has this little scratchable things on it, or like if you go too quickly, it can create flying droplets, and obviously this dye flies and colors everything it touches very quickly. So I need to go with a light touch. Okay, now the holes. The more expensive ones usually offer more structural stability, and many have magnets to help align. Oh, I see. So basically, when you turn, it stays in basically discrete positions where you want them, rather than locking and like making it hard to rotate. I see. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I mean, obviously, the one I got is cheap and strong and very slow to rotate, which is not a problem for people like myself, but a problem for people who do it quickly. Well, I did know it when I was a kid. I did it on my way to school I would solve a cube a couple times on my way to school, maybe 3 times. I walked to school, and then I forgot, but I can do 2 layers, no problem. Like that, my brain remembers that. But the third layer, I forgot. I learned a new way, American or whatever. I don't know what that way is. Whoever invented it, right? And I forgot it again. So I have to admit that I used the online app to help me solve this one. All I did is just color my cube in it, like, and then press the button, and it told me how to solve this. So I have to admit I did that. But I want to relearn it every time I do it. I just don't have enough time to dedicate to it. Too much other brain activity going on in my day job, that I cannot dedicate that mastery. I mean, I remember like my first was very simple way. The second one was very non-trivial, non-obvious one. But I learned it, and then I forgot it again. Maybe every decade I should do it, like, because I'm turning 50 soon enough this month, and maybe I should relearn how to solve the Rubik's Cube again. Do you have a preferred method? Do you know a best method out there? Is there like a how it's called um, objectively best method of solving a cube? And obviously you do need to. The hardest part is not the method. The hardest part is visualizing what needs to be done and quickly deciding that, right? But the method is still important, I imagine. Okay. Time to add a little more dye to it. Okay. The coat on them all. A couple of holes in here and in here. Again, I can touch it up after I stitch as well. Okay, now the hard one. Well, not this part. This part is the same. It's the middle that will give me troubles, I imagine. And I shouldn't use my fingers because they can accidentally get some dye on it, and that will color my project. Yeah. By the way, how hard is it to solve the 2x2? I wonder. Because it should be pretty straightforward. Although I guess when you're talking about speed, anything can be done faster or slower, right? It's not a question of how hard it is to do it. It's a question of when you know how to do it, how can you do it the fastest possible way? You use CFOP, which is by far the most common method and is relatively easy to learn. If I remember correctly, uses fewer than 100 algorithms to the level that I learned it. Nice. I didn't learn the crazy stuff. Nice. 100 algorithms is kind of like not crazy stuff. Yeah, I mean, I imagine. It's generally what people learn first. It's not too bad. 2x2, really. Really, people do learn 2x2 first now. I mean, I guess when I was a kid, 3x3 was the only one, right? So maybe that's why. It sounds weird to me. But that's probably logical that 2x2 is the first start. Yeah, and I don't think I heard of this abbreviation, CFOP. So probably doesn't mean too much to me, but I'll actually after I finish this piece, I will record it for my own knowledge, so maybe I can find the method. Most beginners do 2x2 and 3x3 pyramid to start. Those are easiest to learn. Yeah. I mean, by the way, I probably solved pyramid myself Actually, I don't know. Did I learn it myself or did I cheat back when I was a kid? I want to say myself, but now I'm doubting that. But yeah, 2x2 I'd never tried. Never tried. And folks, if you're watching, Steven here is a streamer who does cube streaming. Well, maybe you don't do cube streaming anymore, but he did, and we enjoyed each other's company in my and his streams a few times. Okay. Do I need to adjust anything here? Yeah, I do need to make these edges. Right? I don't know why I thought that, but I decided to do it nonetheless. Now, I think the next step is to finishing. I need to give it a thought before I do, because I don't think I have like a instructions manual or something I need to come up. Maybe I should actually document the process, you know? In fact, I probably did for my pattern. Or maybe pattern actually doesn't come with instructions, just like, hey, stitch these pieces together. But yeah, so I think next will be finishing, and then stitch, and oh yeah, finishing the backs as well, and then stitching. Oh, come on. Yeah, as you press on it, like quite a bit of dye goes into the tip, so. Okay. Holes, right? Now I need to do the holes on this guy. Luckily, this guy only has holes on 3 sides, like the rest of them. Yeah, stitching. I actually like stitching quite a bit. So stitching is probably the easiest for me here. Well, easiest is complicated word, right? Is the thing I am not concerned about at all. Let's put it this way. I'm the most confident, I guess. That's probably what I meant to say. Every leather project for me is a challenge of confidence. Will it happen? Will I fuck it up or not? Yeah, actually, next phase is actually tooling a little more because these marks that I have on them are just for me to see where things go. But I want them to actually be a little more protruded. So I will go, and I should have done it before dyeing them, obviously, but I will use my tooling arsenal to create more, basically bigger, more pronounced creases between the tiles. I did that on the white one before I gave it to Julia to paint. Julia is my wife. And I will do it here as well. Okay, here I need a little bit more coloring. Okay. What about these? Yeah, these look good. Okay. Okay, are we done with the black dye on the edges? Well, maybe I wanna use this marker for this inner piece, and maybe I'll use the other side of the marker. Basically to do this. And then I'll use the big marker for the actual edges of them all. Quite a few steps involved. Okay, let's put these guys aside. Grab the big marker. And do the edges. And I can do the big marker on the edges because like they're perpendicular, right? Like all I need to do is just do the edges. I should have probably edged them first, right? Yeah, let's do that. Before I continue more, let's edge the edges, which sounds weird, but that's what we're gonna do. And I have a new edger that works better on the sides, and it will work very well here. There we go. You see why I said I need to do it first? Because my dye job immediately disappeared. And the edger allows you to have like the rounded edge when you burnish. So it's not like and actually not just rounded, but it makes the edge not how it's called, not mushroom, like because it can become like it can shift around the leather if you push it. Yes, this is sharp, and also it's easy to manipulate, which is why I bought this one. Unlike others. By the way, you see how like the flesh side of the leather is much less smooth to cut? Because, well, that's the flesh side, but the grain side is easy to cut. And I'm only doing it on this edge in the inside because this will be open edge that people will touch, right? The outside edges will all need this. Yeah, this is smooth. This is like a good tool. So it goes easy for two reasons: being sharp and needing to, and this pressure that I apply going in an interesting way. Basically, it's just it kind of translates your push into forward motion. Can you see this? Oh, there you go. And don't worry about the color. I will use the marker to do the edges, obviously. Come on. There we go. So here I need to do it starting where the holes are, right? Yeah. Just like that. Let's move this. Let's throw this away before we go and touch this stuff with other pieces. As you can see, my mat, this is one of the early mats I actually used, but after I put this stone here, this is granite, right? I can no longer put my big mats, and I bought like 4 or 5 of them on sale at what's his name? Joann's, and now like I'm upset about that situation. So if anyone wants to exchange mats that are what, let's say 24, right? So something like that. Yeah, 24 inches by, let's say, 18 inches. For much bigger ones, 1-to-1, I'm game. It's a good deal, folks. Good deal. Yeah, they do get, and they get dirty, which is not necessarily a problem on its own. You kind of can clean them, but some of it does, like the dye is much harder to get off. And yeah, using the knives obviously gouges them quite a bit. Yeah, you see how on the front, on the, how do we call it? The not the front, but on the grain side, it's just smooth as a butter. And even like on the other side, it's okay. Okay, and these, yeah, these as well. Okay, do I want the top as well? Yeah, let's do it. Because I'm gonna apply the black to this shortly. And there's always opportunity to fuck it up, right? The good news is if you make an object, then if you fuck it up, you know how to redo it. That's the good news. The bad news is time and money, no, you know, but that's not a problem. My margins is reasonable for the material to be able to afford the material. Let's start with, let's say that. Okay. Let's press this guy down. I want to be careful not to touch white with my, if I have any dye on my fingers. And the last. Again, the bags don't matter much because I'm gonna be gluing them anyway. But yeah, you see how this like finally gets into the shape it will become. And that's kind of a phase in the project where you're like, okay, maybe I'm not complete fuck up. Maybe it will work out. Which is not the feeling you get earlier in the process. Which is completely opposite. Maybe I should stop doing this, you know? That confidence is the beast. I guess it's probably in everything you do, right? The plan is all coming together. Everything is always the hardest. Yeah. Starting, but also like there is this moment in a project where you invested a lot of energy into it and it's nowhere close the end, or you can see all of the things that can go wrong with it and you're worried the most. But so it's kind of interesting. And I think as you're not experienced, you might not have enough of these like barriers. The more experienced you are, the more things you know that can go wrong, and you're worried more. As you are inexperienced, you're like, oh, I don't know, I can fuck up the stitching, you know? Or maybe you use a simpler projects or projects with easier steps that are more obvious and stuff like that. I don't know. Oh, come on. Okay. Better is the enemy of good. And there are a couple steps later that will fix up some of this anyway. Yeah, experience opens your eyes, yeah. I'm a software engineer, and, you know, I would be feared for ourselves if we relied on computers for our life. Oh, wait, we do. So I do fear for ourselves. You all should be scared, I can tell you that. It's funny. Okay, for that I will use the other marker, which I obviously put away already. Oh, I have this big guy to deal with as well. But also you learn how to use better tools so you don't make as many mistakes. So I guess it's not just the skill that you get, but the tools that you trust and invest in, and, you know, so it evens out eventually. I'm watching this. We call it The Barn at home, but it's a British show called Repair Shop. And I watch all of those experts in this field that dealt with projects like these many, many times. Every time something new comes about, they're like, oh, how the hell am I going to do that? And like they have I think her name is Judy Fletcher, if I remember correctly. She's the sister of the mechanical guy whose name is Steve Fletcher, I believe. And she's the leather worker for the team. So she's like, oh, how the hell am I gonna repair that? You know? She's always scared of it. No, she's confident and experienced. It's not like she's scared because she's scared, but she always like feels like, oh my god, like how much this repair is this object in? Because they mostly repair, obviously, right? Well, not mostly. They sometimes they refabricate something, but or some pieces rather. But they mostly repair pieces that people bring in. Okay, maybe I should use the thin one and put the glasses on. Unfortunately, I don't stream as regularly as I want. Well, technically, I want to stream pretty regularly, but A, there is a day job. B, I got injured and haven't streamed in for a couple of months because of that. Basically, there is always an excuse for not streaming. But I'm trying to stream like weekly. Yeah, I would love to have you. I mean, I'm trying to do Tuesdays actually, but sometimes days just don't work out. So, great. Thank you for joining. Thank you for remembering me and joining my stream. It was great to chat and remember things from the beginnings of this channel, and you being the first customer of this project. Okay. See you. Another good thing that goes for people who make things is that they use the magnifying glasses. Customers don't. They don't even know sometimes where to look, which is good, you know. But that makes it a little like we see things in very intricate detail. Customers don't necessarily do that, which is a little bit relaxing. Okay, I'll put these guys back on, and we'll do some tooling. Let me zoom in a bit. And I'm using this wedgie kind of thing. It's called Steep Beveler, and this is the wide one because I have straight lines basically to go with. So let's do this. Let's grab the weight. And I'll just go like this in both directions, giving it a little more depth. And then you flip. do the other side. And obviously at this point the red dye. Yeah, I should have dyed it after I tooled. Hopefully we are not uncovering any problematic areas. Maybe we do. We'll see. Yeah, maybe I do need a little bit of touch up later with the red. Well, I guess with every color we're going to be using. But perfection is my bane. I want things to look better and create more work for myself. You know. And maybe this is a fool's errand, but I decided to do it, and that's all that matters. Okay, let's do the blue one now. Yeah, I think the red will need a touch up. The rest of them, maybe I'll touch up the blue as well. We'll see. It might turn out that I need to touch them all up. That would be unfortunate. And the last. Yeah, unfortunately each line needs to be, I need to go through twice because I don't have a tool that does both sides, kind of like this, right? But maybe that tool is actually harder to position as well. This one is like, you just put this edge on the line and you should be good to go. The other one, the edge will be in the middle of it, and it might be okay for more freestyle, but when you need to follow a line or something like that, well, that might be more problematic. And this creates a little more of this like 3D effect on the leather, basically. And since the Rubik's Cube has plenty of 3D-ness to it, I need to do this. And the last one. Okay, give me 1 sec, I'll heat a piece of equipment a little bit. There we go. That's how you persuade equipment to do the right thing. And the green is the last one. And I need the light. Yeah, there we go. This is much easier to see now. Right? Yeah. Okay, the green also needs some touch-up. Okay. I guess I need to take out my brushes and stuff. Or just markers, actually. You know what? I'll just use the markers. That's a good idea. They're not exactly the same color though, but it probably will do. Especially on this lead, because the lead is gonna be bent by hand quite a bit. Okay, red is done. Next is green. Is this the green? Or is this the green? Or this is the green? Yeah, this is the green. Okay. And maybe I need the other side. It's thinner. Having this darker green also doubles as a little bit of line, extra line in here. That's nice. Yeah. Folks, do things in the right order of operations. Okay. Do I need the yellow or not? No, yellow looks good. Okay, and the orange. Yeah, orange looks good as well. It's the most close one, but the blue I do need. And it's a little different blue, right? Yeah, it's a little different blue. But it will give us accent as well, so. As long as I breathe in, maybe do this. Touch up with the marker was a good idea, that's for sure. Let's do red a little one more time, maybe to give it a little bit more prominent edge, not just to mark, but to like really go out there. But I think the reds are closer to each other than the rest of the colors. And the marker just rides in this groove that I made, which is awesome. Okay, I think the coloring is done. Oh, 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 things are flying, things are falling, and I should take off the goggles. What's next? The next step is finishing the back. So the white has the finished back already. What happened here? Let's do a little bit of coloring of that. Probably the natural. Oh, the natural freeze in the leather. Yeah. So let's use Tokonol, which is right there. The glass burnisher, which is right here, and a rubber, or rather silicone brush, which is right here. And this applies this glue-like substance called Tokonol. That basically binds the fibers of leather together. And you need to wet it, and then you use the glass slicker, as they call them, to slick the leather. Oh, come on. While it's still somewhat wet. To specifically go pretty evenly on the visible part that will be the flap, right? The edges and stuff like that. The inside don't matter as much. Although this little flap that will come out is also important. So I want to touch it up a little. Make sure it's even. Right there. In fact, we will need to do the edges on this guy before anything else. This is the liquid that's used to make the edges pretty sleek as well. We can do that here as well. At the same time, basically. And my edger is right there. Not edger, sorry, burnisher is right there. And this creates a groove. Not a groove, rounded edge that is smooth and cool to the touch. Not cool to the touch, but cool. Smooth to the touch and cool. Should have some canvas lying around that we can use to make it even better. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Every time I'm so happy about this stuff. And you don't need a lot of this toconol, just enough for it to create friction, at the same time provide what you call it, the bonding component of it. People say, oh, it's just PVA. Oh, I don't think it is just PVA. But there's probably something PVA-ish in it. Okay. Let's do a little bit of more of this slicking. And if you do it right, you will get a pretty shiny surface. Now let's use the canvas on it as well. Yeah, all of this goes into making this leather, you know, these leather products. All of this is necessary. Some people just like, hey, I don't care about the edges of the leather. I'm like, come on, really? Don't call your laziness rustic. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's touch up this green dot. Yep, that's all it takes. Let's use the Alt to take out the excess toconol accumulated in the holes. Basically, you don't want it to leak out and make your dye job uneven. Especially on the lighter colors like this one. Right? Okay. Yeah. So you see the difference between this and this, for example, right? Yeah, that's the difference. That's what we're talking about. Okay, this one is done. And the white one is done. It's not as shiny anymore, but still. I did a lot of talking today. I did give a presentation and all of that. And then spent 2 hours chatting with my intern. Well, hour and a half. and a few more meetings during the day. Not all of them I've spoken, but my voice is kind of like, enough talking already. But we are here today. And I'm a natural talkative guy. So. You apply pressure, and it generates this sheen very well. Okay, that's the next one. Did I do more on this guy? No, it's fine. Or should I? Should I? No, it's fine. Don't do more than you should. Because then you are overdoing it and you can fuck the project up by just doing too much. I'll burnish the edges on the little pieces slightly later. Okay. Okay. And the last one. This is the bottom piece. And I don't care about like these edges where we have holes because we're gonna be scraping and gluing there anyway. a little bit of hole cleaning. Needed. Because otherwise it gunks up and all of that. I'll apply a little more to this one than I should have. Okay. Now, is it the time to finish the leather? I thought. I think it might be time to finish the leather. No, it's time to add the edges on all of these little pieces. Where they are. Where they're not going to be stitched, basically. Because I will not be able to access that to do this later. The stitch corners I will be able to burnish at the end because it's straightforward and easy. Yeah, I didn't color it enough. There we go. Yes, I knew something is off. There we go. That should do it. Okay, let's sit at this, put it aside for a sec. Remember correctly, this sits exactly in this groove. This tool, the round tool. Nope. One more. Nice. Okay, now time to do the finishing. Oof. Right? Yeah, time to do the finishing. So let's start with not this. Should I start with not this or should I start with this? No, let's start with not this. With that we use the wax thingy. Atom wax, leather balm, atom wax, kind of stuff. And we use one rug, the other rug. Where's our liquid rug? This is our liquid, or wet rug, as they call it. Let's see if this makes it so much better. You do want to go in circles. To make sure it doesn't create streaks and goes into all the crevices as well. Now we let it sit for a little bit. We do the other ones. Okay. Now we use the dry rug. Where's my dry rug? No, this is my dry rug. This is a darker one. This is the lighter one. Okay, the darker one actually is good for here. So let's do it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well, but it is becoming very shiny. Very shiny. Yeah, this blue is a little pale, but and I can apply a little more wax to it. Yep, that would not do. I need to open the bottle. Let's Okay, I'll do like that. Very, very. I don't know what very. How very is it? But it is very smooth, very cool looking. Yeah, these guys will use a lighter rug that didn't get as much dark on it. We'll buff that. Okay, these are done in the front, and I now need to do the backs as well. Tired. This is my wet rag. Darker side. Offset the rag. So these two first. Okay, let's close the big bottle of wax. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't like these bags first. Now I do. I think every time I get to this waxing part, I start liking the project more. Even if it requires some exercise. I think if we're done finishing this, we'll end it and I will not start stitching until next time. Because I want it, like, I want the finishes to harden a little more, dry up and all of that. And we obviously will need to put the snaps in as well. One. Yeah. Okay. Last piece. The fuzziest, finickiest piece of them all. Let's start with the back. The white, basically. The white is the finickiest of them all. The white acrylic, rather. It's not just white. If only Rubik's Cube didn't have the white piece. That would be so much easier. Any color but white. Okay, and now this side. Is this the finisher? Yes, the matte acrylic finisher. Okay, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let me grab the brush. Maybe I should have started with it because I need two coats of this. Okay, too late. So I'll be pouring that back in. Maybe we will start stitching actually today. Now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe we will. Let's put the white aside to dry. And we'll work on the rest now. Let me quickly wash the utensils, if you know what I mean. 1 second. Okay, and I'm back again. Okay, let's put these rugs away. Do some drinking, hydration, right, folks? Please redeem. I would appreciate that. What's next? Next is stitching, and we will start by stitching these guys together. So for that we will need the rougher. Nope, not the right one. Oops. Is this the rougher? Yeah, that's the rougher. And we'll need to rough the parts that we will glue together. As we slicked it so well, now we need to rough it back up. You know? Okay. Rough them all up. Okay. And now here. A little rough. A little rough. Okay. I will not rough the white. I think it's still, yeah, it's still a little, requires some drying. I will poke holes in the holes though, to make sure they don't become like they don't gunk up basically on me. Don't gunk up, don't gang up on me. Okay, bring it back. Now we will start attaching them together. First, the glue. The glue. One at a time, though. And this is the bottom, which is evident by holes all around it. Let's start with the front. Easy start. Meanwhile, while this glue dries, I can pick my needles and all of that. And what we'll do this, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do that, right? Yeah, that's how we will go. So is that how we will go? Or are we gonna do that and this and then that and I have no idea. Okay, I'll do a length of thread. So this is 0.6 or 0.8. This is 0.6. We'll grab a thicker thread here because these holes are thicker. Nope, it's the other way around. That one was thicker. And was it green? Is this green? It is green. Where's my black? There. I mostly use 0.6, but I sometimes use 0.8, and obviously black is the most common among them all. So yeah, so I have plenty of black. These spools, by the way, just so it's clear, these are like $70. Quite an investment, if you know what I mean. So you're not comfortable making that investment earlier in your career. You start with smaller spools. Then when you run out and you're like, okay, I like this thread, you then go and buy a bigger spool. Because they are significantly cheaper in big spools. Like, significantly cheaper. Even though it is $70. By the time it runs out, I will know that it was cheaper. Okay, let's leave the thread here. Let's attach these two guys to each other. Just like do a little bit of rolling on it. And we can start stitching. And for that, I, as usual, will use my pony, the stitching pony. Ew! Ahoy, silver! And I'll switch the face cam. Is it the right position? Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, ahoy, silver, some trash can, all of that. That was my warmer, seat warmer doing. It stopped warming my seat. Now we can stitch. Yeah, these are pretty big holes, so I have no problem with this thread. Is it already 8:30? Okay. I'll do some stitching and then we will end. I don't actually think I glued the rest of them before, so probably I will not glue this time around either, because they will be stitched in a very kind of in the right position. So yeah, I don't need that glue anymore. However, this is the last time I can stitch it in a pony, actually, because it will start becoming 3D real quick. Okay, let's remove the pony. And switch back to the top view. So now we stitched on this guy, right? You see how it goes up to the holes. I don't know if that matters to you, but it does go up to the holes. And now I will go and stitch the next side. For that I need to go like this. And that's the yellow side to the side of the green side, basically, right? If this is front, you see how it is on the picture. This is front, then yellow goes this way. And we just go through this hole to start. Right? Right, right, right. Okay. Maybe I should use some of those clips to position it well while I'm struggling to stitch it. Where are my specialized clips? Here they are. Oop. Again, it will only take a couple stitches before it sits there, right? So and the worst part is that I like stitching, so I don't want to end the stream after a few stitches. I kind of want to stitch the whole thing together. Maybe I will. but I should pace myself. Okay. The last stitch. Oh, technically I need to go this way. And then need to go this way. Right? Yep. And this becomes the corner of our little box, which we can connect like this, so it sits and holds its shape together. While we attach the next piece, for which we will need another clip. Basically, this goes... Yeah, you know what? This clip is not useful. This goes like this. You can tell I want to stitch the whole thing together today, right? But I can't because I'll have to finish right there. But we can try stitching everything but the white one. You know what? Yeah, let's do a little more stitching, and I will end the day by doing another coat of that acrylic finisher on the white. Yeah, so this is how you stitch leather together. Yeah, I forgot how easy it is to stitch the pre-punched holes like that. I usually use my fancy French stitchers now. But this is just very straightforward. That's why Diesel Punk templates are so popular. I should probably make myself a case for my laptop, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. You know, from some fancy leather, maybe tulip or something. The problem is that they might change the size of the laptops before it is useless. Okay. I feel like this is the conclusion of stitching for today. And I put the thing in the wrong hole. Nice. Not conclusion yet. Let's say that. Now it is a conclusion of some kind. Yeah. So eventually this will become a box when I stitch all of the edges together, right? And the cube will sit, well, this way, this way, this way, yeah. Will sit this way in this cube. This cube will sit inside this cube. And you'll be able to close it like this through the rivets, which I should, for the snaps, which I should have set now, which is probably not too late. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's set the snaps before I make this mistake again. So let's go to the snap setting setup. There we go. Yeah, that's my laptop, by the way, I was talking about. Okay, snaps. Where are my snaps? First of all, these 4 pieces, right? And then I'll need my snaps, and they are somewhere below. There they are. Did I not use silver yet? Is it possible that I did not use silver yet? It's possible. It's pretty. Okay, let's open up the silver real quick. Okay. So we will need two of these guys. We'll need two of these guys. Two of these guys. So, how do this work? Only I remember. So we have 4 different pieces. This one should come with this. Oh, no. This and this come together. Okay, these go onto the top, and these two go onto the bottom. So first, this is for this guy. This is for the bottom now. Right? We'll set these first. Right now, this one goes at the top, on the top. And one of these guys with a little pip. A little pip. Yeah, the little pip goes over here. Put this thing on bottom. Pull the hole first. Oh, come on. Did I make small holes? Too small with the holes? Yes, I did. Okay. Back to this table, making bigger holes. Yeah, like that. Okay. This one through. This one on top. This one goes on the tip. This one goes. Oh. And down, down, down. Nope, not enough. More down. Now, there we got a good snap. Another good snap. And now for the opposite side. If only I was not an idiot. That would be so awesome. I put them on the wrong side. I should have put them over here. Okay. Now we need to undo these awesome snaps. Crap. Well, there is no project without major fuck up. Good news is that it's not that hard to do. At least these. These are easier to undo. Okay. Attempt number dos. Dos. Ugh. I mean, it wouldn't be fun, right? If it wasn't without problems. Let's grab 2 more pieces. These 2 little dudes. least we don't need to change the setters again. They didn't install it completely wrong first. Only half wrong. Okay, let's repeat that. Just this time we'll do it on the right part and on the right camera. I don't actually know if you can see me pressing here, but hopefully maybe that camera shows you how I'm pressing things. 1. 2. And now we need to change the setters. And replace them with these two guys. Here we need to do this, right? This is 1. Actually, I made it upside down, but it doesn't matter. And 2. Okay. Let's reset the setters, because I usually use this for rivets. Put away the first, well, couple misset, but with silver snaps from this brand. And this is a premium, these are premium snaps, you know, very high quality. Like that, right? Like that. So it will be square, trust me. Or a cube rather, eventually. You have to trust me, it will be a cube. Yeah. It will eventually become a cube. Sometimes the wax sticks around in the grooves and you want to remove it a little better. Okay. Anyway, before we part today, and we're gonna be finishing soon, before we part, I'm gonna apply another finish to the white side, and we're almost done. So yeah, the white. We'll just go directly into the bottle. Hopefully that's not a problem. It's awfully quiet in the chat, folks. How are you all doing? Are you enjoying this interesting stream of making a Rubik's Cube case? Or are you not enjoying? Are you not entertained? Come on. bubbles. Okay, cool. Let's keep it here. Actually, I don't want to put it away. Finisher. Where's my acrylic? Where's my acrylic? This is my box of acrylic paints of various colors. So if you folks need anything in any of these colors, like this awesome pink, let me know. My wife will be happy to paint anything. She loves painting. No, maybe not anything, but you know what I mean. So let me wash this brush and I'll be right back so we can go and do some rating. So if you know who we want to go to, please let me know. Stick around for the raid. Stick around. Okay. Who are we rating? Who are we rating, folks? Where are we going? Where are we going? How do I know where we're going? Is this the button? Yes, that's the button. Here's my face. I will be looking at the computer though. Makers and crafting. Makers and crafting. More makers and crafting. Printers. No printers. Where are the people? Where are all the people? I don't see any faces. What is that? I don't know. Doesn't look like craft to me. Okay, let's click if anyone is following, or if we follow anyone. Static Tides is up. Odin is up. Although it's like been 4 hours already. Moon's Dolls is up. Is she on though? What's she doing? She's playing games. No, we're not doing playing games. Okay. What's Odin doing? Okay, he's chatting, it seems. Yeah, okay. Let's go to Static Tides. She's chatting as well. Not sure what.
And that's super annoying. But yeah, vinyls and stuff.
Yeah, let's go raid Static Tides. Start the raid. Join me in a micro raid to Static Tides. What? Are we not raiding? What's going on? Where is my raid button? Come on. I just pressed the raid button. No? Let's try again. Start raid. We are already raiding. Are we raiding? Okay. Twitch.tv / static Besides, have we rated?
Because I'm tired of sewing just black fabric.
No, we
But I
haven't
wanted to
rated.
move on to the hat accessories so that I could look at some yellow.
What's going on here? There we go. Rate now. Rating.
I do in 1.5 streams. The flowers for the hat I could probably do in 1 stream.
Yes, hello.
Maybe 1.5. So, oh hey, Cherny, thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream? It's supposed to be flower like the yellow, right? Yeah.